First up on the show, is the Netanyahu coalition in jeopardy? The latest report by the U.S. Office of National Intelligence says Israel's coalition government is in turbulence. The Prime Minister is facing heat over his hardline policies and his failure to reach a consensus on a ceasefire deal or end the hostage crisis. If the recent polls are to be believed, Netanyahu is polling at 32%, far behind Benny Gantz, who is at 48%. Netanyahu has been under pressure to maintain control of his coalition government, which relies on support from 7 parties. The report highlights that Netanyahu faces distrust both from public and his coalition partners. Over the past few months, thousands of Israelis have demonstrated in the streets of Tel Aviv, calling for Netanyahu to resign. Protesters have called on Netanyahu to secure the immediate release of Israeli hostages. This comes as Israel and Hamas failed to secure a ceasefire deal before the beginning of Ramadan. The Islamic holy month was seen as the unofficial deadline for a truce in the war. However, the talks mediated by Qatar and Egypt failed to yield any results. As a matter of fact, Israel had refrained from sending a delegation to the truce talks in Cairo. The U.S. intelligence report also comes days after Netanyahu's rival politician Benny Gantz made a trip to Washington to discuss the Israel-Hamas conflict. Experts say that the Biden administration hosting Gantz was a clear symbol of U.S. President's frustration with Netanyahu's government. Gantz's visit gained even more traction as reports said that his trip to the U.S. was not sanctioned. The intelligence report comes at a time when many polls suggest that if a fresh election were to be held, Benny Gantz would comfortably beat Netanyahu. Netanyahu has been the longest-serving leader of Israel by focusing on the country's security, he believes. However, after the Hamas attack on October 7th, his viability as a prime minister has plummeted sharply. And for the very latest on this, our correspondent in Israel, Jody Cohen, has sent us this report. Listen in.
Israel's Foreign Minister Katz accused UN Secretary-General Guterres of trying to suppress the UN's report on Hamas's sexual violence against Israelis, which Guterres denied. However, US Ambassador Thomas Greenfield criticized some Security Council members for their silence, suspicion and skepticism in the face of the atrocities, which she said was unforgivable. The US ambassador also called on Hamas to accept the 6-week ceasefire on the table, which she confirmed Israel has accepted. In the meantime, following Hamas's call on Iran and its proxies to increase attacks on Israel during Ramadan, on Tuesday morning 100 rockets were fired by Hezbollah into Israel, their largest barrage so far. Israel says it has been striking Hezbollah targets in response. US intelligence has suggested that Al-Qaeda and ISIS have been inspired by Hamas to attempt to target Israelis and Americans. And Israel's Defense Minister Gallant has said that Iran is smuggling arms to the West Bank and that Israelis should brace for terror. This is Jody Cohen for WION World as One.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.